contaminated by the modes of material nature. Here, everything is contaminated by the modes of material nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance. Goodness is also a kind of contamination. In goodness, one becomes aware of his position in transcendental subjects, etc. But his defect is in thinking. Now I have understood everything, now I am all right. He wants to stay here. In other words, the man in the mode of goodness becomes a first class prisoner and becoming happy in the prison house wants to stay there. And what to speak of those in the modes of passion and ignorance? The point is that we have to transcend even the quality of goodness. The transcendental position begins with the realization, Aham Brahmasmi. I am not this matter but a spirit. But even this position is unsettled. More is required.
Prabhu.
Yes, Guruji. Brahmabhuta prasannatma na sochati na kankshati sama sarveshu bhuteshu madbhaktim labate param. मुझे ऐसा याद आ रहा है पूजा, आई थिंक ये पढ़
हाँ,
चुके
ये
थे
पढ़
हम।
चुके हो आप। ये पढ़ा था श्रद्धा वाल
ये भी एक था यार, थोड़ा सा और नीचे करिए पूजी।
ये नहीं पढ़ा था मेरे ख्याल से। Those who are hesitant in taking this path of knowledge have no chance. नहीं, ये भी पढ़ा था। Hesitation is due to ignorance. ये भी पढ़ा था। Person of Maharaj, I'm eternal hesitant. Fixed task का I've fallen to ocean of birth and death. ये नहीं पढ़ा था तू?
ना, ये पढ़ा था आई थिंक कनक माता जी ने लास्ट में ये
Even
पढ़ा
if
था,
a
ये
person is
श्लोक
more
मुझे याद
sinful,
है।
if he receives board of science of Krishna consciousness, हाँ, ये science of Krishna consciousness, ये रहा ना, ये रहा highlight हुआ हुआ है। Yes, यहाँ से पढ़ना है, यहाँ से पढ़ लीजिए प्लीज।
सॉरी, मुझे याद नहीं था एक्जेक्टली कहाँ से
नहीं नहीं, कोई बात नहीं, किसी को नहीं था, आप पढ़ो।
Yes. Consequently, all living entities, beginning from Brahma, the highest demigod, down to the lowest ant, have the right to use natural resources. Narad Muni points out that we can use these resources as much as we require, but if we take more than required, we become thieves. Unfortunately, everyone is trying to conquer and predominate. Countries race to the moon in order to put up their flags and claim that planet. When European came to America, they put up their flag and claimed it for their nation. This flag planting and flag waving is all due to ignorance. We do not stop to think where we are putting our flag. It is not our property, but God. Knowing this is knowledge, and thinking that is my property is ignorance. We have the right to utilize, but not to claim or hoard. Thank you, Prabhuji.
If we throw a bag of grain into the street, pigeons may come and eat 4 or 5 small grains and then go away. They will not take more than they can eat, and having eaten, they go freely on their way. But if we were to put many bags on floor on the sidewalk and invite people to come and get them, one man would take 10 or 20 bags, and then another would take 15 or 30 bags, and so on. But those who do not have the means to carry so much away will not be able to take more than a bag or two. That the distribution will be uneven. This is called advancement of civilization. We are even lacking in the knowledge which the pigeons, dogs, and cats have. Everything belongs to the Supreme Lord, and we can accept whatever we need, but not more. That is knowledge. By Lord's arrangement, the world is so made that there is no scarcity of anything. Everything is sufficient, provided that we know how to distribute it. However, the deplorable condition today is that one is taking more than he needs, while another is starving. Consequently, the starving masses are revolting and asking, "Why should we starve?" But their methods are imperfect. The perfection of spiritual communication is found in the knowledge that everything belongs to God. By knowing the science of Krishna, we can easily cross over the ignorance of false proprietorship. Yes.
We are actually suffering due to our ignorance. In the law code, ignorance is no excuse. If we tell the judge that we are not aware of the law, we will be punished anyway. If one has illegally amassed so much wealth and yet claims ignorance of his transgression, he will be punished nonetheless. The whole world is lacking this knowledge, and therefore thousands of teachers of the science of Krishna are needed. There is a great necessity for this knowledge now. We should not think that because Krishna was born in India, that the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is sectarian or that Krishna is sectarian God. Indeed, in the 14th chapter, Sri Krishna proclaims himself to be the father of all living beings, father of all beings, as pointed out previously, Bhagavad Gita 14.4.
As
Yes,
spirit souls, we are part and parcel of the Supreme Spirit, but due to our desire to enjoy this material world, we have been put into material nature. Yet in whether species of life we may be, Krishna is the Father. This Bhagavad Gita is not meant for any particular party or nation, but for everyone all over the world, even for the animals. Now that the sons of the Supreme are committing theft due to ignorance, it is the duty of one who is conversant with Bhagavad Gita to spread this supreme knowledge to all beings. In this way, people may realize that their true spiritual nature and their relationship to the supreme spiritual whole.
moving to the next lesson, action in knowledge of Krishna. Namam karmani limpanti, name karma pehla safraha, iti mam yo bijanati karma bhirna sabhadhyate. There is no work that affects me, nor do I aspire for the fruits of ocean. One who understands this truth about me also does not become entangled in the fruitive reactions of work. The whole world is bound by karma. We all know of the existence of microbes or germs which exist by the million with the measurement of 1 millimeter. In the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that beginning with the microbe, which is called Indra Gaupa, up to the Indra, the king of heavenly planets, all are bound by karma, the reaction of work. We all have to suffer or enjoy the reactions of our work. But be they good or bad, as long as we have to suffer or enjoy these reactions, we are bound to these material bodies. Yes, Mataji.
By nature's arrangement, the material body is given to the living entity for his suffering or enjoying. Different types of bodies are required for different purposes. The body of a tiger is made for killing and eating raw meat. Similarly, the hawks are made in such a way that they can eat his stool. And as human beings, our teeth are made of eating vegetables and fruits. All of these bodies are made according to the work done in past lives by the living entity. Our next bodies are being prepared according to the work which we are now doing. But in the previously quoted verse, Sri Krishna indicates that one who knows the transcendental nature of his activities becomes free from the reactions of activities. Our activities should be such that we will not be again become entangled in this material world. This can be made possible if we become Krishna consciousness by studying Krishna, learning of the transcendental nature of his activities, and understanding how he behaves in this material world and in the spiritual world.
When Krishna, when Krishna comes on this earth, he's not like us. He's totally transcendental. We desire the fruits of our activities, but Krishna does not desire any fruits, nor are there any reaction to his actions, nor does he have any desire for fruitive activity. Name karma phaleshva. When we enter into business, we hope for profit, and with that profit, we hope to buy things that will make our life enjoyable. Whenever conditioned souls do something, there is a desire for enjoyment behind it. But Krishna has nothing to desire. He is the supreme personality of Godhead, and he is full with everything. When Krishna came on this earth, he had many girls friends and over 16,000 wives. And some people think that he was very sensual, but this was not the fact.
Okay, we must understand the meaning of relationships with Krishna. In this material world, we have many relationships as father, mother, wife, or husband. Whatever relationship we find here is but a perverted reflection of the relationship we have with the Supreme Lord. Whatever we find in this material world, which is world, is born of the absolute truth. But here it is pervertedly reflected in time. Whatever relationship we have with Krishna goes on. If we have a relationship in friendship and that friendship is eternal and continues from life to life. In this material world, a friend exists for a few years and then breaks. Therefore, it is called perverted, temporal, and or unreal. If we make our friendship with Krishna, it will never break. If we make our master Krishna, we will never be cheated. If we love Krishna as our son, he will never die. If we love Krishna as our lover, he will be the best of all, and there will be no separation because Krishna is the supreme Lord. He is unlimited and has an unlimited number of devotees. Some are trying to love him as a lover, a husband, and therefore Krishna accepts this role. In whatever way we approach Krishna, he will accept us as is stated in Bhagavad Gita. Yes, Mataji.
ये यथा मम प्रपद्यन्ते तं तथैव भजामि अहं ममाव्रतमानुवर्तन्ते मनुष्या पार्थ सर्वशः. All of them, as they surrender unto me, I reward accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Pratha. Bhagavad Gita 4.11. The gopis or cowherd girlfriends of Krishna underwent tremendous penances in their previous lives to attain Krishna as their husband. Similarly, in Srimad Bhagavatam, Shukdev Goswami says that those boys who were playing with Krishna had undergone great penances and austerities in their previous lives in order to acquire Krishna as a playmate. Thus, the playmates, associates, and wives of Krishna are not ordinary living entities. Because we have no idea of Krishna consciousness, we take his activities as trifling, but actually they are sublime. All perfection of our desires is there. Whatever desires we have constitutionally will be perfectly fulfilled when we are in Krishna consciousness.
Krishna did not need any friend to play with him, nor did he desire a single wife. We take on a wife because we have some desire to fulfill, but Krishna is complete in himself, Purnam. A poor man may desire to have $1,000 in the bank, but a rich man who has millions had no such desire. If Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, why should he have desires? Rather, he fulfills the desire of others. Man proposes the and sorry, man proposes and God disposes. If Krishna had any desire, he would be imperfect, for he would be lacking something. Therefore, he says that he has no desire to fulfill, as Yogeshwara or as master of all yogis. Whatever he wills is immediately realized. There is no question of desire. He become a husband or lover or a friend just to fulfill the desire of his devotees. If we accept Krishna as friend, master, son, or lover, we will never be frustrated. Every living entity has a specific relationship with Krishna, but at present this relationship is covered. As we advance in Krishna consciousness, it will be revealed.
Although although the Supreme Lord is full and has nothing to do, he works in order to set an example. He is not bound to his activities in the material world, and one who knows this also becomes free from reactional activities. Yes, Mataji.
एवं ज्ञानत्वा कृतं कर्म पूर्वैरपि मुमुक्षुभिः कुरु कर्मेव तस्मत्त्वं पूर्वै पूर्वतरं कृतम्. All the liberated souls in ancient times and with this understanding and so attained liberation. Therefore, as the ancients, you should perform your duty in this divine consciousness. Bhagavad Gita 4.15. आगे पढ़ूं क्या उदित प्रभु?
जी माताजी आप कंप्लीट कर दीजिए.
ठीक है. The process of Krishna consciousness requires that we follow in the footsteps of the great acharyas who have attained success in spiritual life. If one acts by following the examples set by great acharyas, sages, devotees, and enlightened kings who have performed karma yoga in their lives, he shall also become free. On the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Arjuna was very much afraid of being entangled in his activities by engaging in warfare. Krishna therefore assured him that if he for his sake, there would be no possibility of entanglement.
Deepak Prabhu.
Truji. Kim karma kim karmeti kavayopi atra mohita tat tatte karma pravakshyami yagyantva mokshasya shubhat. Even the intelligent are bewildered in determining what is action and what is inaction. Now I shall explain to you what action is, and knowing which you shall be liberated from all sins. Bhagavad Gita 4.16. Should I read more, Prabhuji?
ये
This
कंप्लीट
character.
कर दो, yes,
Yes,
11 chapter तक.
yes, Prabhuji, thank you. People are actually confused as to what to work, what is work, karma, and what is not work, a karma. Krishna here indicates that even great scholars, Kavya, are bewildered about the nature of work. It is necessary to know which activities are genuine and which are not, which are bona fide and which are not, which are prohibited and which are not. If we understand the principle of work, we can become free from material bondage. It is therefore necessary to know how to conduct work so that when we leave the material body, we will no longer be forced to take another, but will be free to enter into the spiritual sky. The principle of proper work is clearly stated by Sri Krishna in the last verse of 11th chapter.
Okay. माम कर्म करन मत परमो मद भक्त संग वर्जितः निर्वैरः सर्वभूतेषु निर्वैरः सर्वभूतेषु यासा मामिति पांडव. My dear Arjuna, one who is engaged in my pure devotional service, free from contamination of previous activities and from mental speculation, who is friendly to every living entity, certainly comes to me. Bhagavad Gita 11.55. This one verse is sufficient for understanding the essence of Bhagavad Gita. One must be engaged in my work. And what is this work? It is indicated in the last section of Bhagavad Gita, in which Krishna tells Arjuna to surrender into him. By the example of Arjuna, we are to learn that we should only perform work which is sanctioned by Krishna. This is the mission of human life. But we do not know. Because of our ignorance, we engage in so much work which is connected with the bodily and material conception of life. Krishna wanted Arjuna to fight, and although Arjuna did not want to fight, but he fought because Krishna desired it. We have to learn to follow this example. Of course, Krishna was present to tell Arjuna what his
Yeah?
work was. But what about us? Sri Krishna
Well,
was personally directing Arjuna to act in such
महाराज का
and such
लेक्चर
a way.
महाराज
But
तो
just
कल
because
महाराज मायापुर में है
but but just because Krishna is not personally present before us,
क्या?
we should not assume that there is no direction.
अरे
Indeed, there is a direction. In the last chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the proper work which we are to perform is given. Yes, Mataji.
Yeah,
Yes, sorry.
या इदं परमं गुह्यं मद्भक्तेषु अभिदश्यते भक्तिं मयि परं कृत्वा मम वाष्यते असंशया
असंशया
असंशया न च तस्मिन्
मनुष्येषु
मनुष्येषु कश्चिन्मे
कस्मिन् मे
प्रिया
प्रियकृतमा
कृतमा
भाविता न
भावेत
च
न
मे
च
तस्मात्
मातस्त्वम् अन्य
अन्यप्रियकृतो
प्रियतरो
भुवि
भुवि. For one who
करो
explains the
भुवि.
supreme secret to the devotees, devotional service is guaranteed, and at the end he will come back to me. There is there is no servant in this world more dear to me than he, nor will there ever be one more dear. Bhagavad Gita 18.68, 18.69. It is therefore incumbent upon us to preach the method of Bhagavad Gita and make people Krishna conscious. People are actually suffering for want of Krishna consciousness. We should all engage in spreading the signs of Krishna for the benefit of the whole world. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came with this mission of teaching Krishna consciousness, and he said that regardless of one position, if he teaches Krishna consciousness, he is to be considered a spiritual master. Both Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam are filled with information on how to become Krishna conscious. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu selected these two books and requested that people in all corners of the world spread the signs of Krishna in every town and village. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was Krishna himself, and we should take this to be Krishna's indication of our proper work. But we should be careful to present Bhagavad Gita as it is, without personal interpretation or motivation. Some people present interpretations of Bhagavad Gita, but we should present the words as they are spoken by Sri Krishna.
Deepa Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. One who works for Krishna may appears to be working like anyone else in the material world, but this is not the case. Arjuna may have fought just like an ordinary military man. but because he fought in Krishna consciousness, he was free from the entanglement of his activities. In this way, his work, although appearing material, was not material at all. Any action sanctioned by Krishna, regardless of what it may be, he has no reaction. Fighting may not be a very nice thing, but sometimes, as in case of the Battle of Kurukshetra, it is an absolute necessity. On the other hand, we may perform work which may be very altruistic or humanitarian in the opinion of the world, yet we bound to material activity, and so it is not the action itself which is important, but the consciousness in which the action is carried out.
कर्मणो ह्यपि बोधव्यम बोधव्यम च विक्रमणा अकर्मणा च बोधव्यम गहन कर्मानो गहत. This intricacies of action are very hard to understand. Therefore, one should know properly what action is, what forbidden action is, and what inaction is. The path of karma is very intricate. Therefore, we should understand the distinctions between karma, and vikarma. If we simply engage in the Krishna consciousness, everything becomes clear. Otherwise, we will have to make distinction between what we should do and what we should not do in order to be not to become entangled. In the ordinary course of life, we unknowingly break some law and have to suffer the consequences. Similarly, the laws of nature are very strict and stringent, and they accept no excuse. It is a law of nature, and that fire burns, and even if a child touches it, he will be burned despite his ignorance and innocence. Thus, we have to choose our course of action very carefully, lest the stringent laws of nature react to bind us to suffering. Is there therefore necessary to understand what work to do and what work to avoid? The word karma refers to the prescribed duties. The word vikarma refers to activities which are against one's prescribed duties, and the word akarma refers to activity which has no reaction at all. In the execution of akarmic activities, there may appear some reactions, but in actually they are not. When we work under the direction of Krishna, this is actually the case. There are no reasons. If we take it upon ourselves to kill someone, we are subject to capital punishment by state government. Our actions are then called vikarma, for they are against prescribed actions. If however, the government drafts us into the army and we engage in a battle and kill someone, we do not suffer the reactions, and this is called akarma. In this case, we are reacting according to our own whim. We are acting under the direction of government. Similarly, when we act under the action of Krishna, our actions performed are called akarma. For what kind of activity has no reaction? Three words. So we can stop here and start discussing. It's already 28 minutes. Okay. So we can start with Swati Mataji.
हरे कृष्णा.
Hare Krishna.
तो जो वो पॉइंट बहुत अच्छा लगा जहाँ प्रभुपाद जी बता रहे थे कि सबका मतलब जितना भी पार्ट है उसको उतना ही लेना चाहिए. तो सोसाइटी में प्रॉब्लम तब हो रही है व्हेन वन इज ट्राइंग टू गेट मोर देन रिक्वायर्ड. तो जैसे प्रभुपाद जी ने वो पिजन का एग्जांपल भी लिया था कि जब हम बाहर कुछ अगर डालेंगे तो वो पिजन या जो बर्ड्स होते हैं वो उतना ही खाते हैं जितना उनकी नीड है. वो स्टोर करके नहीं रखते ऐसे या उससे ज्यादा नहीं लेते हैं. तो बेसिकली वी एज अ ह्यूमन बीइंग आर डिस्टर्बिंग द लॉज ऑफ नेचर, या जो भगवान ने जो बनाया है हम वो ज्यादा रखते हैं इसलिए स्टारवेशन भी होता है. फिर प्रभुपाद ये भी बता रहे थे कि जो लोग हैं जो who actually don't have enough food or enough resources, so फिर वो they start crying or fighting like why shall we starve. तो बट उनका भी तरीका गलत हो जाता है. तो बेसिकली किसी को कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस नहीं पता है कि कैसे करना है, कैसे आगे बढ़ना है, या अपना वो रिलेशनशिप नहीं पता है भगवान के साथ. तो इसलिए ये प्रॉब्लम सोसाइटी में क्रिएट हो रही हैं. फिर प्रभुपाद इसलिए बोलते हैं कि प्रीचिंग का भी बताते हैं कि प्रीचिंग इसीलिए इम्पोर्टेंट है कि बहुत सारे प्रीचर्स होने चाहिए कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस को जो स्प्रेड कर सके कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस को. सो दैट इज व्हाई वी नीड मोर एंड मोर प्रीचर्स. फिर प्रभुपाद ने ये भी बताया है कि मतलब कुछ लोग मिस इंटरप्रेट कर जाते हैं कि भगवान की जो इतनी वाइफ्स थी, इतनी गर्लफ्रेंड्स थी. तो बट प्रभुपाद कह रहे हैं कि उन लोगों ने भी अपने प्रीवियस लाइफ में दे हैव डन गुड एक्टिविटीज एज इन डिवोशनल सर्विसेज. कुछ ऐसा उन्होंने बहुत कुछ किया होगा जो उन्हें ये वाला भगवान के साथ एक्चुअली ये सब रिलेशनशिप मिले यहाँ पे, कि वो आए इस टाइप से और भगवान के साथ पर्सनली वो एंजॉय कर पाए। तो दैट इज देयर गुड फॉर्च्यून एक्चुअली। उनकी कुछ ऐसे डिवोशनल सर्विसेज रही होंगी। फिर प्रभुपाद ने ये भी बताया कि जो मोड्स ऑफ नेचर होते हैं उसमें भी जो मोड ऑफ गुडनेस में है वो भी एक्चुअली मटेरियल एंटेंगलमेंट में तो रहेगा ही रहेगा। तो बेस्ट वही होता है डिवोशनल सर्विस करना और भगवान को समझना, टू गेन अंडरस्टैंड दैट रिलेशनशिप एंड वर्क अकॉर्डिंग टू दैट। फिर प्रभुपाद जी कर्म का भी बता रहे थे कि 3 टाइप्स के कर्म होते हैं। उसमें भी जो होगा, जो एक्चुअली भगवान को डिवोशनल सर्विस कर रहा होगा या उन्हें सेंटर में रख के काम कर रहा होगा, ही विल अपीयर लाइक ही इज वर्किंग अदर मटेरियलिस्टिक पर्सन। बट ऐसा होगा नहीं, उससे वो कहीं ना कहीं वो अंडरस्टैंडिंग होगी भगवान की, तो वो उस अकॉर्डिंग ही कर्म करेगा एंड देन ही विल नॉट फाइंड हिमसेल्फ इन द इन द मटेरियल, आई मीन मटेरियल एंटेंगलमेंट। वो फिर अगेन इसमें नहीं फंसेगा। Yeah, that is my realization.
Thank you. Amazing point, Madhavi. Deepak Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji. Mataji already covered my point, all the points. I have one point only, like the law of karma. जैसे कि प्रभुपा जी बता रहे थे कि लॉ ऑफ कर्मा से कोई भी नहीं बच सकता। इवन जो इंद्र हैं वो भी बाउंड होते हैं लॉ ऑफ कर्मा के, एंड इवन ब्रह्मा जी। एंड हम किसी भी हायर प्लेनेट में चले जाएं, लेकिन सबको की लॉ, सबको मतलब अगला शरीर मिलता है, एंड जिस हिसाब से एक्टिविटी उनकी रहती है उस हिसाब से उनको नेक्स्ट शरीर मिलता है। एंड जो हमारे मेटल एंगेजमेंट में फंसे रह जाते हैं, मतलब एक तरह से। तो वही है कि हमें किसी भी हायर प्लेनेट के लिए प्रिपेयर नहीं करना चाहिए। हमें सिर्फ स्पिरिचुअल वर्ल्ड के लिए प्रिपेयर करना चाहिए। अगर हम किसी भी हायर प्लेनेट के लिए प्रिपेयर करते हैं तो वहाँ पे भी हमें मतलब वहाँ से भी हमको नीचे ही आना पड़ेगा जब तक कि हम स्पिरिचुअल वर्ल्ड में एंटर नहीं करते। तो यस, या दैट्स माय पॉइंट।
Thank you. मेरे को एक पॉइंट वो अच्छा लगा, मतलब एक स्टोरी थी वो जिसमें प्रभात एग्जांपल दे रहे थे कि अगर रोड पे आपने कुछ आटे के कट्टे डाल दिए, तो अगर कोई चिड़िया आती है तो आती है अपने अपने मतलब वन टाइम का लेती चली जाती है, और कोई एनिमल आता है वो भी एक टाइम का आता है, खाता चला जाता है। लेकिन अगर इंसान आता है तो ही विल ट्राई टू गैदर मोर एंड मोर। वो सोचेगा मेरे भाई कितनी पॉकेट्स हैं, कितनी हाथ में जगह है, वो हिसाब से अपना भर भर के ले जाएगा। तो और बड़ा आदमी आएगा, तो कोई अगर मान के चलिए कोई ट्रक लेके आ गया तो वो और भर के चला जाएगा। कोई साइकिल पे आया तो उस हिसाब से भर के लेके चल जाएगा। तो इस वजह से क्या है कि अनइक्वल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन हो जाता है कि एक अमीर अमीर होता, मतलब अमीर और गरीब में सोसाइटी ये बटी हुई है, और अमीर अमीर होता चल जाता है, गरीब गरीब होता चल जाता है। इट इज बिकॉज ऑफ द ग्रीड ऑफ द ह्यूमन रेस। तो प्रभुपाद बताएं कि भगवान ने सृष्टि में सबके लिए इक्वल अरेंजमेंट करा है, और अगर उस इक्वल अरेंजमेंट के अकॉर्डिंग हम मतलब रहेंगे, उस इकोसिस्टम के बेसिस पे हम रहेंगे, जो कृष्णा ने बताया है भगवत गीता में कि कैसे बैलेंस लाइफ जो होना चाहिए, कितना लेना चाहिए, उसके अकॉर्डिंग रहेंगे, तो मेरे को मतलब तो ये जो अनइक्वल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन है पूरी सोसाइटी में खत्म हो जाएगा, क्योंकि कृष्णा हैव अरेंज इक्वली फॉर एवरीवन। और यस, ये पॉइंट मेरे को बहुत अच्छा लगा कि हमें जरूरत के जितनी हमारी जरूरत होती है उतना ही गैदर करना चाहिए, उससे ज्यादा नहीं। और अपने हमारी जरूरत मतलब कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस के अकॉर्डिंग, मतलब कृष्णा बीइंग इन कृष्णा कॉन्शियस, हमारी जो जरूरत है वो भी ऑर्गेनाइज होनी चाहिए और मिनिमल होनी चाहिए और अंडर गाइडेंस होनी चाहिए। यस, दैट्स ऑल फ्रॉम माय साइड। ईशू प्रभु, यू वांट टू शेयर समथिंग?
अभी जी एक्चुअली मैट्रो में हूँ मैं तो है ना, नेटवर्क जा सकता है कभी भी।
अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा,
जी प्रभु जी।
ओके, थैंक यू, थैंक यू प्रभु। सो एनीथिंग एनीवन वांट्स टू ऐड? दीपक प्रभु, स्वतंत्र जी। Okay, so we can stop here. Vancha kalpataru. Deepak, you want to say something?
No.
Okay. Vancha kalpataru bhakta kripa sindhu पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जगत गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की जय।
जय
Jai.
हरे कृष्णा। Thank you for joining
Hare Krishna,
everyone.
Prabhuji. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.